Hello guys, this is Kaushik Kumar from SRIRAM Law Academy. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about pressure and how to handle it. So I'm sure all of you must be feeling the pressure because CLAT is one of the most competitive exams out there. And because of the amount of effort you're putting in, there's a lot of pressure coming in from so many different sides. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure you're putting on yourself. There's a lot of pressure probably coming from your parents and your family, probably from your friends, probably from the places that you're studying. All of that put together, I'm sure, can be a very challenging situation for you. And sometimes it can get a little too much. So I'm hoping to give you some kind of tips today to be able to handle that pressure better, because I'm not going to tell you that there's not going to be any pressure at all, because that's not the case. There is going to be pressure on you at some point of time or the other, but it's about how well you handle that pressure is what's going to decide whether you're going to make it in CLAT or not. Right? So the key thing to understand is that you need to be able to figure out that you are under pressure in the first place. Because the biggest problem a lot of students face is that they don't realize that they're under pressure and they push it for too long and they wait until the breaking point and then it hits them, oh, this is just too much pressure for me, I'm not able to take it. So you need to be able to realize and understand how well you do on a day-to-day basis. Like, are you doing the things in the same manner that you usually do? Are you talking in the same way that you usually do to your friends, to your family, in the same way that you would normally would? So I look at all of these things and see if there's any kind of changes in your behavior, right? All of this can possibly be signs of any kind of pressure. So unless you identify you're under pressure at the beginning, you won't be able to handle that. And the earlier you notice it, the better it is, because that's just so much more easier to handle rather than waiting until, say, a breaking point and you're like, you've completely lost your mind. And that's just a really bad situation to be. So keep a lookout for small things like this. Think about yourself, introspect, like just ask yourself a lot of questions as to what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. If you're feeling a little off, think about it and ask yourself all these questions to see if you're actually under pressure. Now, if you realize that you are under some kind of pressure, what you need to do is first keep an eye on the goals that you are trying to achieve. Like I've told you in the other videos, try to set yourself smaller goals, like weekly goals, monthly goals, so that you can achieve, that will put you in a better mindset than you would be otherwise. So keep an eye on those goals that you are trying to achieve, because in a way, looking at these goals will give you some kind of focus as to what you're trying to do and where you're moving towards. And that kind of focus can sometimes help take that pressure off your mind, and probably help you not to get distracted and just focus on the task. So when you do start looking at these goals, try and break it down into manageable chunks. Like, try to think about what you can do today. Try to think about what you can do in the next hour, or the next 2 hours, and try and keep split it up into manageable chunks and achieve those things. Because when you do finish a certain task and tick it off your list or scratch it out of your list, that gives you a little bit of satisfaction that you've done something, and that just gives you a little bit of more leeway to believe that you're doing well in the preparation process, right? So it's just a matter of splitting it up into manageable chunks so that you can finish part by part, small step at a time, and move ahead with what your progress should be, right? So all of this is just to put you in a better kind of mindset as to how you're going to be feeling and what you're going to be thinking while you're doing all these tasks. Now, the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is probably the most important thing you need to keep in mind is ask for help, right? There is absolutely no shame or nothing to be scared about, or nothing to even look down upon the fact that you're asking for help from somebody. It may be from your family, it may be from your friends, it may be about even the smallest thing altogether, right? Irrespective of whatever it is, whatever is bothering you, whatever is going through your mind. Like, let's say if you're struggling with a certain topic in the subject, ask your friend to help you explain it better, right? That it's just a very small thing to ask, and if that person's willing to help you out, then that just makes your life a little more easier. And more than anything else, knowing that somebody's out there to help you, that gives you a little bit of a boost and puts you in a better mindset as to handling all of this pressure. So do not ever feel ashamed for asking for help in any way or form whatsoever from the people who you know you can trust and you know will help you, right? Because it's such an easy way to get your mind off these things, just to know that there is somebody who you can rely on, right? And just ask them for any sort of help also, even if it's the smallest thing that's on your mind, right? So obviously don't overdo it and probably annoy that person. But if you're feeling a lot of pressure and you're feeling a little down, try to get this person's help, whoever it may be, and just try and get that little bit of a boost to put you back on track. Yeah. While you are working, I'm sure it can get very stressful. It can be a lot of pressure, and I'm sure a lot of you might be working quite a few hours in the day. So make sure you are taking enough breaks, and in those breaks, try to do something that you enjoy, or probably meditate to clear your mind. It's essentially, this break is to help you reset your mind from all the stressful thinking that you've been going through while you're studying, while you're thinking about CLAT, while you're thinking about the exam, while you're thinking about scores, etc. Right? So try to take a little bit of a break in regular intervals to be able to do something that you enjoy, take your mind off of all of these things, and just helps you reduce a lot of stress and pressure that you've built upon yourself while you're working hard. Right? So these tips as such and these breaks that you are taking is just a way to help you reset from all of that pressure that you've built upon yourself, and just like help you come back and then continue working in the same level of intensity that you were able to do. Right? And finally, one thing that you do need to keep in mind is try and prioritize your tasks, because try and work on those things which are most important first. And especially once you do finish these tasks, especially something which is really important, you just feel a lot more better. And once you have that sense of achievement of actually getting something done, and that just takes a little bit of pressure off, right? So there's not one single solution to get out of pressure situations. It's a lot of small things which come together to help you get out of it. So, right, so try to do all of these small things put together. Try to prioritize your tasks. Keep an eye on the goals that you're doing. Try to break it down to smaller, manageable chunks. Always ask for help if you do need it, and try to take enough breaks to put you in a kind of position to be able to come back and work hard enough when you do come back to work. Right. So there is no one single solution for everybody. Try out different methods which help you handle pressure in a better way than maybe somebody else. So it's all about finding what works for you, and most importantly, keep an eye out for what is happening within you as to how you're feeling, how you're reacting, what are the things that you're doing, the way you're talking to people. So keep an eye out for all of these things, because you need to be able to identify that there's something wrong in the first place to actually work upon it. And if you're not able to do that yourself, you might just be pushing it too far into the future when it might not be the best situation to actually solve that issue. So keep an eye out for things that may be going wrong. You may be feeling a little off, or some may be down for some reason. Try and look out for these kinds of incidents and try to sort them out as soon as you can, because you need to be in the best mindset to be able to achieve the goals that you're setting out to achieve, especially with CLAT, an incredibly competitive exam. And considering the amount of pressure that's coming from you from all sides, it's very, very easy to crumble and just completely get distracted from what your goals are. So just do all these things step by step in very small manners every single day, and keep going at these techniques to be able to handle pressure a lot better. So you can go ahead, log on to your LMS and try to work smart to beat the competition. And please do keep in mind the things that I've told you in this video. And I'll see you guys in the classes. With that, this is me, Kaushik, signing off.